Penney Company is an American department store chain with 865 stores in 49 U.S. states and Puerto Rico with more than 90,000 employees. After 118 years of operation, this is considered one of the leading department store chains in the U.S. with a large number of customers. However, this chain of stores began to go down after a failed reform that led customers to gradually move away from traditional stores and was on the verge of bankruptcy. So, what happened with Penney Corporation? We will go on the way back to 1902. James Gosh Penney was a salesman at a retail store in Wyoming called the Roden Group. After 3 years at the position, he was promoted to manager and business partner and given the opportunity to invest in his own store. A few years later, he bought out his partner's shares and took over the business completely. In 1913, he changed the name to J.C. Penney. By 1923, the chain was approaching 700 locations mostly in the West, but they were making their way out east as well to big products that contributed to this early success. It became a public company in 1929, which, if you're familiar with the history of the U.S. economy in the stock market, wasn't the best time. But they made it through to the Great Depression, and unlike most others, it grew over those years.
In 1960, they were offering just about everything. That's when they started their mail order catalog, which soon became the second biggest of its kind in the US. They also started offering hardware, auto services, and gardening equipment in sporting goods, and many expect they were becoming Sears. It was in the early 1970s when they opened their 2000 store. They hit their all-time high soon after, which, to put that into perspective, is about twice as many as they have been open rating over the basketball of decades. In 1982, they decided that they would become more of a traditional department store by specializing in products and the other stuff that we know them for today, and phasing down not everything there. They slowly changed throughout the rest of the 80s, and as the result, they were a smaller but more focused and efficient company. That's how we got the store that we all know today. Now for the decline. In 2008, there was economic downturn, so department store that started the middle class ran into some trouble. J.C. Penney was similarly hit harder than their competitors, maybe because of their target demographic, but if they play smart, they should recover with the rest of the economy. Look at this graph. For the previous 6 years, they fell and started recovering right with everyone else. But then, 2012, when everything else continued to go up, J.C. Penney crashes down and everything was far worse than they were during recession.
CEO Ron Johnson, who began his tenure in November 2011, tried to develop America's favorite store by creating a specialty department store experience. He used to be a big part of Apple and is thought to be the one most responsible for the design and success of the Apple Store. He looked up to Steve Jobs and took heavy influence from him. So, in late 2011, Johnson took over JCPenney and almost instantly started this massive information transformation. JCPenney, renamed JCP, institute a fair and square pricing, eliminate sales and promotion. There were no bargains anymore. The stores are reconfigured into several shops. As the result, a 25% decline in comparable store sales, and it's almost killed the company. So, what does this story have to do with human resource management? Well, it's really simple. When a company is struggling financially, it is going to impact its people. And for JCPenney employees, that impact came in the form of a traffic light color-coded performance appraisal system. JCPenney has split up its associates into categories based on their performance and ability. According to sources inside the company, supervisors were told that they should categorize their employees into 3 colors. Green, their performance is okay. Yellow, they need some coaching to improve performance. Red, their performance is not up to par and they need to leave. Not only were we supposed to do this with our team members, but as a store leader, I have to categorize my entire team, explained a JCPenney store manager.
Many employees were not even aware of the system, and supervisors were given no building one way or other regarding whether to tell them about it. Although company headquarters do not to disclose the light system to employees, However, there are other problems with this green-yellow rest approach. One is that it is sensitive to abrupt the livelihoods of human beings this way. The easy-to-understand simplistic nature of green, yellow, and grass colors doesn't translate well to what will be a tremendously personal and difficult situation for many employees, especially those with a rest appraisal. Another problem is that labeling employees can create difficult interpersonal situations. The labels can become a source of humor and teasing, which can deteriorate into hurt feelings and even feelings of being discriminated against. Is that really the best way to be America's favorite place to work? Asked the executive. So now, stores are picking up their associate feeling that they may be a red or yellow themselves. At this point, the company should be open about it. Employees should know that they are being rated what the criteria are. And if they have a poor rating, what options they have for improving. There should also be a fair process of appeal or test if an employee feels the rating was unfair. Such ways, the company can solve the SRM problem, but for the others, we don't know, and that is another story of Penney.